Hey guys, so today I wanted to make a video to show you how to change the rear camera in the Samsung Galaxy S7. So the first thing you want to do is power off your device, so go ahead and power that off. And the next thing you want to do is take a SIM eject tool and remove any SIM card or memory card in your phone. I'll include links in the video description for any tools that I'm going to be using today during this repair or any parts that I'm going to be replacing. Anything that I think might be helpful to you, I'll include a link in the video description below this video, so check it out there. So next what we're going to need to do is remove this back cover right here, this glass cover, and it's held down with really strong adhesive. So what we're going to need to do is use like a heat gun or a hair dryer. I'm going to use this hair dryer right here. So we're going to need to use that and heat up this edge all the way around to get the adhesive loose so we can get this back cover off. You need to almost heat this hotter than you think you should to get it off. So go ahead and heat this up. So now that we've got this heated up, what we're going to do is use a really thin pry tool like this. I'll link to this in the description where you can find it. And it's a really thin pry tool because this has really tight tolerances here. So what we're going to need to do is try to get in. I would recommend in the bottom right here, right above the charging port. So now what I found, if you get this guy started in here like this, what you can do is use like a guitar pick. And you can just slip in right in here beside it. And you can kind of roll around the corner like this. Now you want to make sure as you're going up through here you don't come in too far in the edges, because there's a wireless charging pad is in here and different things. And you don't want to damage anything, so you want to just try to keep it about 1/4 inch or so is all you want to go in. So then you can bring one in this side right here, and at this point you can pull this guy out. Now if this is cooled off quite a bit already, then you want to go ahead and give it some more heat. Now that we've given it some more heat, what we can do is just keep working this pick up through here. Keep loosening that as you come. And we'll slide this one up through here. Get right around the top here. And if you give it heat like that, this really comes loose pretty nice like this. Now you can see this is starting to separate pretty good here on this side. If you just carefully pry up, it has some adhesive in here in the middle that hangs up a little bit. Now let's go ahead and remove our picks here. And you can see the last remaining adhesive on this side is pretty much letting loose. So the back cover comes off just like that. Next what you'll want to do is use a Phillips screwdriver size 000, and you're going to need to remove these 12 screws all the way around in here. The screws are all the same size, so you don't need to worry about mixing them up. Go ahead and remove those screws. Next you want to remove this yellow tape right here where your IMEI sticker normally is. Or if this comes up really easy, you can just peel off this whole part right here. Set it off to the side. If this video was helpful to you so far, I would appreciate if you would give it a like down below and subscribe to my channel. That would help me out a lot. Next we'll need to take this top one off first, then this middle one, then the bottom one, these little covers. So what I found here, I'm going to turn this upside down, and I found if you go in this little notch right here, you can pry this one up. You can continue in this corner right here, just pry up really carefully so you don't damage the logic board. Then this one comes out. Then you can easily pry up on this one here, and that one comes out. So next we need to remove the motherboard here, the logic board. So what we're going to do is we're going to need to remove a lot of different connectors here. So let's go ahead and start over here. Just use something plastic like this, I would recommend, or your fingernail. Don't use anything metallic for this when you're prying on the board. And let's go ahead and remove this connector right here. Next let's do this connector right here. Next let's disconnect the battery right here. Disconnect this connector. Disconnect this one and this one here. Then I'm going to use the tweezers for this, but just really carefully you want to pop off this antenna wire right here, the white one and the orange one. Get those off to the side. Now there's still a connector underneath here that is fastened on the motherboard, so what we're going to need to do is just pry carefully on this corner right here. Be very careful when you're prying up on this thing. Watch all the connectors so they slip past. Then once we got it up this far, pry off this connector right here. Then the whole logic board comes out just like that. Now to change the rear camera, it's fastened on the back side of the motherboard here. What we need to do is just flip the motherboard over, pry on this connector right on the back side here. Then you want to come on the front here and you can just carefully slip under this thing here. And then this camera rocks right out of there. So there's the whole rear camera. So to reinstall, grab your new camera. Set it right down in there. Reconnect it by pushing down on the connector. You should be able to hear it click in. Make sure that adhesive is stuck down again and you're all set. Next, to reinstall the logic board, the motherboard, what we're going to need to do is first of all get this connector connected right here on the underneath like this. Then what you can do is slowly lay this down. I'm going to turn it this way so you can see. And now as we lay this down, we got to watch all these different connectors underneath here that want to stick up and catch and hold the motherboard from laying down properly. So we got to watch these antenna wires right here as we're setting this down. We got to watch the battery. Got to watch these connectors up here. These over here. Continue to watch the antenna wires. So yeah, just watch all these different connectors. If for some reason it doesn't feel like this thing's laying down properly, make sure there's no connectors hanging up anywheres. Now you want to watch the front camera as well. If the front camera gives a problem, what you can do is just carefully pry up on the connector right here. Then you can set the camera back down in where it goes and then reconnect it. Now that this motherboard is laying down the way it should go, let's start reconnecting connectors. Let's reconnect this one down here. Reconnect this little one right here. Reconnect this one right here. They should just all connect in with a soft little click. Reconnect these two here, right on top of the camera. Reconnect this one over here. We're going to save the battery for last. And let's go ahead and reconnect these antenna wires. These antenna wires are a little tricky to get reconnected sometimes. Just take your time, try to get them as square as you can when you're pressing down. Then when you're all done, reconnect the battery connector here. I'll just double check, make sure all your connections are good, and you're all set. Now next we want to put this one back in here. It just clicks into place. Next we want to connect this one. Just sits right there. You can see the screw holes line up. Next you just want to lay the top one in like that, and they should all snap down in. They snap a little hard sometimes. And go ahead and put all your 12 screws in all the way around. Next grab this part here, put it back down on here, stick it down. Next grab your back cover like this. And if you want, you can try to reuse the adhesive on it if it's okay. If it's not okay, you can get some new adhesive to put on it like this. I'll link to this in the video description where you can find it. But in my case, I was able to straighten it out and going to reuse it. So what you want to do is just grab your back cover, set it down on here like this. You can press it down all the way around, make sure that it is in the right place. And then what I would recommend is giving it a little bit of heat and just press it down firmly, make sure that it's going to stay. Then next, grab your SIM card and memory card and put them in there, and you're all set. Thanks for watching.